has come again. The champion must stand. It can only be one of us. Victoria! So stand up and not my friend. There's a title you must defend. Shut up and bring it to me. Defend your
It's the DYM podcast there, boss. Taking it off, boss. Taking it off, boss.
Oh, somebody did their homework.
Go around the other side, boss.
All right, go around, Sean.
Hello there, everybody. This is the DYM podcast that you're listening to, and I am one of your hosts. I am Sean. Today, I am Cool Hand Dutch. We're gonna have we're getting in the mood, and I'm joined. Who very quickly you changed yours to the perfect name, Cool Breeze Luke. Did you not see that I changed my name on the
This was, I swear to God, done independently of yours. Before
Get
I came
out of here.
I swear to God, before I came in, we sign on to Mikey, our producer, sends us a link, and before I see the gang,
and it's on
before me and
StreamYard.
Shawnee sign in, you can change your username on what it shows on the screen. And that's where I always like to have fun with it. I change mine up every week. I swear to God, it was done independently before I saw yours.
That's so funny because, so to fill people in, basically, last week was a revelation. Last week was an earth-shattering episode where I admitted to the Cool Breeze that I had never seen Cool Hand Luke, which is
probably my second favorite movie of all time.
So
it's like Jaws and Cool Hand back to back.
Yeah, it's Andy's. Andy loves this movie. He's brought it up multiple times. It's been one of the
done a defend your movie against it, where Shawnee faked the whole thing. Fake. That's what he did to me. He faked it.
So,
with a poker face too. The whole time you're just every
dude.
time I talk about it in public, you just yeah, that was a great scene. Hell yeah, who's it? What is it? Paul Redford. Paul Newman.
The key is you say nothing. You say always keep your mouth shut and never talk to the cops. What does it say? No, never rat on your friends.
Yeah, always keep your mouth shut.
Always keep your mouth shut. So last week there was a revelation that I had never seen Cool Hand Luke, and like we just said, it's one of Andy's second favorite movie of all time. So it was a big deal for the podcast. So I promised to watch Cool Hand Luke for this week's episode, and I absolutely did it. And man, I
absolutely loved it. But
I did love it. I did love it. We'll start off with that. We'll start off with my impressions of it. I did love it. But you know what it's so funny about, and if I can explain, when it comes to these movies, I'm beating myself up for not watching this obviously years sooner, because there's a certain amount of magic that you miss because these movies affect other movies, right? So they're inspiring all sorts of modern day movies, not even modern day.
You're missing Simpsons references and Seinfeld.
And I thought I knew enough just from it, not seeing it, but knowing, just being in the world and knowing enough of the references. But holy cow, would I have looked at Oh Brother, Where Art Thou completely different if I had seen Cool Hand Luke first. Like don't get me wrong, it's not the same movie, but I talk about heavily freaking influenced. Like I've read enough stuff about Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, which I'm a fan of. It's not my favorite movie of all time, but like I like it a lot. And
it's up there in my probably top 5 Coens.
Yeah. And man, oh man, I don't think I've ever, maybe I missed it. I don't think I've ever read anybody mentioning. Oh my God, the guard,
aside from the chain gang.
But you got the chain gang. You know, but the only thing difference is the religious undertones of the whole thing of like the building towards death. It's supposed to, even in No Brother Where Art Thou, it doesn't come to fruition. The whole thing's about death. The whole thing's about dying. They just don't have the spoiler at this point, but I mean like. And the guard with the sunglasses.
Sure. Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing: is that Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is a specific specifically based on the Odyssey, and Cool Hand Luke is basically specific to the Jesus character.
Exactly.
So
yes, yeah,
they do have a similar arc, but the Odyssey draws heavily on religion, so that crossover is natural because you have, not obviously the similarities of the movies of the chain gang and stuff like that too, but just the source material that both draw from have crossing over points. So yes, like the prison guard in Cool Hand Luke and the what do you call him in Bro Brother out there?
The marshal or the whatever he is. The guy with the sunglasses is the common bond between those guys. It's Mr.
Kroger.
It's like the man with it's Mr. Kroger. Yeah, it's the man with no name. It's the guy with sunglasses. So that's the whole idea. It's the no-named villain that you can't see his eyes, and it's supposed to be the devil, I guess. In both, or one of them is Pontius Pilate, I guess. Or would in Cool Hand Luke is the guard Pontius Pilate because
I think
that's who ends up dies at the hands
crucifying Luke. Yeah, essentially. Sorry,
right.
The movie's been out for 41 years. We're just learning, Sean.
We can talk about it.
No spoilers here.
The movie's been out for so long. It's not even 40 years. I think it's more. I think it's like 40. What year was it?
67, I want to say, or 69.
Yeah, it's way more. It's like 50 years. Anyway,
I'm not good at math.
So overall, I was a big fan of the movie. I liked it, but of course, I should have watched this when I was at least college age human being.
That's exactly when I saw it.
Yeah, and the amount of influence this movie, the amount of movies this movie influences is remarkable. And pulling all the tropes of a prison break movie, of even it's around that time when they started doing all these Jesus references. It's like I know Scorsese does it a lot. He did it Raging Bull. It's super common. But I'm sure this has got to be one of the early ones to pull that, unless there's old German movies with the Jesus references in there. But to have it that much that prevalent, and the characters based off of it, based off Jesus, like that literally. It's the whole idea of him digging the hole and just him being broken and all that kind of stuff is very Jesus-like. So overall, it was great. And
the biggest one is after eating the eggs, he's basically in the crucifixion pose.
That's what I mean. Even with the legs crossed, like it could not be
identical. Yeah,
and he's on wood. He's on a table.
Confusing it. It's the least subtle reference to Jesus in modern cinema.
They're really beating over the head with that one on that point.
That's the thing.
They're like that was so prevalent that at one point you could think one of the characters is like, "Hey Jesus, are you gonna break out again?" I mean, "Hey Luke, are you gonna break out?" Just by accident calls him Jesus.
He goes, "Oh Jesus, how about those huevos today?"
So Andy, yes, I'm a fan of the movie, and now I'm glad to have that bridge crossed in our relationship. That I apologize for lying. Basically, I didn't lie per se. I just omitted the fact that I never watched it. I just kind of glossed over it, didn't bring it up. I was never asked directly if I've seen it. So
right. You could testify in court that you'd get off, but.
But yes, and George Kennedy is in it, who is an old time actor. Who every time I see George Kennedy in a movie now, I think of how there's a Mystery Science Theater where they make fun of some private eye movie that he made. I forget the name of it, and he got publicly mad that they were making fun of the movie on Mystery Science Theater. He tried to shut them down from making fun of it.
Then he went on to be the biggest buffoon in Naked Gun.
In Naked Gun, exactly. Yeah, he kind of got it after a while. But in Mystery Science Theater, I forget the name of maybe one of the out there in DYM Nation, you can tell us the name of the movie. He's a private eye, and he's in bed with a woman, and there's a 6-pack of beer at the end of the bed, and he picks it up with his toe in the movie. He picks up a 6-pack of beer, which is a pretty cool move if you really think about it.
Oh yeah. I've been watching them again recently. I like the new ones too. They've got a good cast and they're just as funny.
Yeah, I haven't watched the new ones. And a buddy of ours is, I don't know if you know Jonah, but he's the Joel guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a nice
He
guy.
essentially plays Joel. And if you're old movie, yeah, I mean that made me cackle when I was a kid, and it's still they did a new one on Mac and Me, which if you know anything about that,
oh god,
it's so funny, dude. It's so funny.
The famous Mac and Me thing is the Paul Rudd.
Yeah,
every
Paul
time
Rudd,
he would do Conan, he would always say he was cutting to a clip of his newest movie, and it'd be a scene from Mac and Me. It'd be another weird scene. But Mac and Me was like the ripoff E.T., correct? Like
it's McDonald's made a movie ripping off E.T. because E.T. was so popular. McDonald's, the restaurant, thought they would make
that's why the characters.
Mac.
Yeah,
right.
Mac. Yeah.
It's so
Jesus.
bad and so dumb, and it's perfect for Mystery Science Theater fodder. It's so funny. Go ahead. They're all on Netflix if you want to watch them, and all the Mystery Science Theaters are so great. They're so fun.
But let me ask you, I never actually saw Mac and Me, to be honest. I never saw it. Did you see it as a kid,
Shocking.
Mac and Me? Did you see it as a kid?
I didn't see it.
Oh, so you didn't even see it either. But like,
I have seen it.
Oh, that's what. Oh, you didn't see it
Not when I was
later.
a kid, though. I was answering your question truthfully.
But here's the thing, Mac and Me. I knew of it when it came out. When you're a kid, you're not. Maybe I'm just an idiot. Maybe I was just a dumb kid. I didn't make the connection. Oh my god, it's exactly like E.T.
No, I was a dumb kid. I never
yeah.
made it at all. I didn't even put together the fact that it was a thing from McDonald's.
Oh, I didn't. No way. I didn't know that till just now. Till you just told me.
Well, the funny part is, if you've never seen it, there's a gigantic finale in a McDonald's restaurant. It's so funny. There's like a musical number in a McDonald's. It's so bad and hilarious. Go watch. It's like a great bad watch. Like you'll have fun watching it, you know?
So that's like early product placement. That's like the most product
100%.
placement you can get. Yeah, that's
100%.
crazy. Yeah. So
but yeah, man, I'm glad you enjoyed Cool Hand Luke. Did you notice a young Dennis Hopper's Babalu Dots? A young who he just recently died. What's his name? Peter, not Scarrett. Who am I thinking of? Gosh darn it, Christ on the Cross.
Who played what?
Oh, old timey actor. He was also in.
You mean the guy who was in Get Smart? That guy? Wasn't that the guy? One of the guys was in Get Smart. Was he not? He was Matt, whatever his name is. But that's not who you're thinking of. You're thinking of.
No, I know who you're thinking of, and it's not who I'm thinking of. It's a 3-named fucker. What's that asshole's name?
Who was he in the movie? Oh, Harry Dean Stanton. Harry Dean Stanton.
Harry Dean Stanton.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's in it, and he has a small role. Dennis Hopper has a really small role. Like I might have been.
Yeah,
maybe this is his first. Was this his first movie?
Maybe. I know. So when was Easy Rider? 60. I mean, Cool Luke was 67. So
Easy Rider might have been 69. Yeah, I think it was 69. I'll tell you one thing I love about this movie has a character called Dog Boy. That's always good to have a character named
Dog Boy.
Dog Boy. But also, I can't take movies where there's dead dogs. Then. I can't when there's dead dogs in movies. I can't take it. It's too upsetting.
Not even that's not a bad dog dead scene. It's not.
Well, no, because they didn't build up the emotion, but there was a dead dog. I tell you right now. Also, do you think the dog's that the dog's name Blue and then Blue in old school is named Blue because of Cool Hand Luke? I think it is. It's got to be. Yeah. But man, see all these references, not getting them. You know.
I know, dude. You must be listening to Guns N' Roses Civil War now, and it's a whole new meaning on you. So you know what we have here is failure to communicate. Strother Martin, who's so great in it.
You know what? I will say this. I did know that was Cool Hand Luke. I knew that line was Cool Hand Luke.
Oh, really?
But I didn't realize why they put it in the song is because it's like the last thing he says. Also, like you know, Luke. That's the but that's the warden, but the captain. I'm gonna start calling everybody captain and boss.
It's so good, man. It's got a high rewatchability too. It's just it flip test for me all the way. I can't turn it off if it's on. I'm stuck. I love it.
You know what we should do? We should do a flip test bracket episode.
Sure.
Didn't we? I think we did flip test matchups at one point, but we could do like almost like when we did this podcast and Making Me Thirsty, and they did like Seinfeld line bracket.
We should have done we missed the March Madness. We usually do a bracket, and I do have one that would have been fun. We don't have to go by the time constraints. We could do whatever.
Do whatever we want. It's a free country. Whatever.
Yeah.
Did you watch anything this week?
Nope. It was just a busy fucking week for me. I was running around and I really almost didn't have much downtime. And I honestly have been playing a lot of video games and not watching movies. But I just started This Is a Robbery. So I'm interested to see where that goes. I'm right on the very first episode.
Saw the whole thing?
Okay.
That's the other thing I was going to... What I did. I watched the whole thing.
I know, but not a competition.
No. Oh, no. What I was saying that implying that it's bittersweet because I wanted to talk about it and I can't talk about it.
Oh, yeah. Well, we kind of discussed it, but I'm interested in that kind of thing. I love a good heist. You know, I love a heist. So how many episodes are there?
There's 4. There's 4 episodes.
Okay.
And I will say this. One thing I can talk about is, man, I don't know if I've said this in the podcast before. I love anything Mafia related. I know it's such an obvious statement, and I might have even said this before, but dude, I could the Mafia elements. There's a little bit of Mafia elements in this. Not a little bit. The Mafia is part of this thing. It's not giving it away. It's just part of this heist thing, right? This heist show. This is a robbery.
Yeah.
And I could have watched 20 more hours straight on them talking about the Boston.
I haven't even gotten there.
Okay. Yeah.
Boston Mafia. Yeah.
Yeah. I could watch every Mafia documentary in one sitting, like in a row. That's how much I love that shit. Like, I don't even know where it comes from. Maybe it comes from like watching so many Mafia movies as a kid or something, and it just seeps into your brain. And you're like,
yeah.
But it's from a place of like, this is so cool. It's not from a place of
I know. I always thought I'd be a cool Mafia guy.
You do you think do you really think that we would make good Mafia guys? Do you think you would make you don't think you would rat on anybody?
I'd fold in a fucking New York. What
do you think it would take? What do you they have you in the room?
Guy, all you would have to do is yell at me, and I'd be like, "I'm sorry, mister." It was Tony Valachi the whole time.
You start
or Joe Valachi. That was the guy. That was like the original rat, Joe Valachi.
Yeah, you start giving up people that aren't even involved, like in whatever they're trying to talk to you about.
I do the chunk from Goonies. I go, and then in 3rd grade, I took a Snickers bar from the Quick Check. Everything comes out.
Yeah, I would be. I like to think, like, I watch those documentaries and I'm like, I wouldn't rat. But if they were like,
right.
They were like, oh, they're just going to murder you anyway. I'd be like, oh, okay, I'll just tell you.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the thing. The Mafia used to have the omerta was the code of silence, where it used to be a badge of honor that you'd go to prison and be taken care of for keeping your silence. And then once the first domino fell, it just like all the old Mafia guys, I don't know how many of them are left, but they would, like, even if you watch kind of Soprano stuff, they'd go, yeah, this thing of ours is not what it once was. You got guys, they rat nowadays. It's like they're nostalgic for the days when guys didn't rat and could do a bid. You know what I mean?
You know what ends up happening? And it's not just, you know what it is?
That is due time.
It's a middle management thing. So these guys just think they're not appreciated enough. That's the thing. Like, I was watching a documentary, and I don't know if I mentioned this already on the podcast, but I was watching a documentary about the real Sopranos family, like the one that's based on in Jersey. I think I was even watching it on like YouTube. And one of the things that it really stood out to me is that a lot of these guys, they turn because they're not making much money. They're making like a decent day job's amount of money. So back in the day, they're making like 60, 70 grand, like say like 25 years ago, 60, 70 grand. So, and they don't think they're appreciated. That's the thing. When it's like when you have a boss at a regular job and you're like, my boss doesn't realize what I do for this place. That's why these guys are turning over, because
funny too.
It's so funny that, like, like the mafia have like an HR department or something. Just be like a
yeah. Don Giovanni doesn't even notice I wrote this guy out.
Yeah,
they just have thank you is all I ask for.
Mafia performance reviews, just like. Listen, you only whacked like 3 people this week. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can even.
You got to get your numbers up, bud. We can't, you know.
Yeah, we got to add more to your. We got to just. You have to spend your time management is awful. You're racketeering, and then you don't have enough time to whack, and then you're leaving evidence, and you have to. You're all over the map. We're gonna get you a planner. We're gonna get you a day planner, and we're gonna get you a Microsoft Office suite, so you can track.
Microsoft Office suite. That little safety pin comes up. Goes. I notice you haven't been whacking anybody.
Yeah, exactly. But that's really what it boils down to with a lot of these guys is like, hey, they're like, I'm not being paid enough. Or I'm not,
made.
It's Imagine if like that was like one of your day jobs you had, like that you it was like mafia rules at your day job. Like you were unsatisfied. So you just went to the government and told them all the shit your boss was doing. And then it gets you out of like having to work there anymore.
You're just being bitchy about it. you don't notice me? Well, I'm going to go rat to the feds. Live my life. Live the rest of my life like a schnook.
But man, oh man, like mafia movies and like
they're the best. What is it about that life? Is it because it's so out of touch? Is it because it's something we all would want? I don't know if we would want that. Like I can't kill anybody, like
no, never in a million. I actually, do you ever think
I can't hurt people?
This is kind of heavy, but do you ever put in your head like, imagine if I had to kill somebody? Because there's certain times where I'm like, I'm like, oh yeah,
I had to defend myself, and or like my mom was getting mugged or something.
Well, that's a little bit different. That's a little different. If you do a hit, imagine like just melting down. Like the minute it would happen, I would just melt down.
Yeah.
But a lot of those guys are like so basically it's just an organization of sociopaths. Like that's what you realize from like you watch Sopranos, you watch all these things. So these guys, they have such traumatic childhoods that the killing is not a big deal. Like some of them don't kill, some of them, because they can't do it and they almost realize it. They don't have those guys kill. But a lot of them, they're killing. They're not just killing because they're like, it's part of this mafia related world. They're just doing it for fun as well,
Right. I think you touched upon it too, though, is that a lot of these guys are brought in at such a young age, and it's such a familial thing that is all they know. So that stuff is kind of naturalized. So it's just like, when you have to kill somebody, eventually you're gonna have to kill somebody. So it just seems like it's your turn and it's a natural thing to happen. So it's not unusual or out of the ordinary,
Yeah, if you have the mentality
that way. Like think about, they say the same thing about like racism. It's like, well, if this child grew up in a racist household, that seems normal to him.
Yes.
So he acts that way. So it's got to be the same thing. It's like, well, if you were the Don's son and you just saw people getting erased and rubbed out your whole life, and then it's just now you're growing up, it's now your turn. So that just seems like natural to you, and the order of things.
Yeah, like and
I saw the Mafia.
When you,
I understand women. I figured out women.
When you're a kid, you're so impressionable.
I'm still impressionable.
Right. Yeah. You're picking up things left and right. So it's like, you're even if that side of things is being hidden from you as a kid, you're still picking up to like, hey, I had an Uncle Joey and now I don't, and nobody talks about Uncle Joey anymore.
Right.
It's that kind of mindset. So it just ends up being, you're just like, oh, even if you don't realize it, normalizing murder is just seeping into your brain.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Absolutely. I don't know. I just think, regular schmoes think mafia guys are cool. It's like the same way I'm like, I think firemen
this
are
regular
cool.
schmo
I think mafia guys are cool. You know what I mean?
Wait, what'd you say? The same way what?
It's like I'm like, it's the same way I'm like, firemen are really cool guys. I say the same thing about mafia. I'm like, mafia guys are pretty cool.
Yeah. It just becomes
we have glorified them so much in media over the years, and that leaves an impression, These guys kind of do whatever they want. They don't give a shit. They're rich. They get all the girls. You go, that's pretty cool. That guy.
Yeah. And then it's also like, there's definitely a time frame of Mafia God that I like, and it's the Goodfellas time frame. Like that's the most attractive
50s,
Mafia
60s,
life to me. Yeah, like even all the guys now, when you hear about all this different thing, like even when it comes to like John Gotti, when it was like when John Gotti took over, and anything like if you watch, like that's why Goodfellas is such a better movie than Gotti.
Well, have you watched the Armand Desante version?
No,
though?
but you said it's not
pretty
bad,
good.
Right? But let's be honest,
DVD somewhere.
They're probably making him way fancier than Gotti actually was.
I still haven't seen the John Travolta E from Entourage cut, but
it is an abomination. Like if for filmmaking, it should be whacked. The whole movie should be whacked.
That would have been such a great review. Dude, this movie should have been rubbed out.
Yeah, dude, it is one of those things where I watched it. Like you can't even call it a movie. Like that's how bad it is.
I remember you were like, "I'm going to go to the theater and watch it for fun." I was like, "I can't waste money on that."
I went and then because then we talked about it on the podcast. I don't know if you were on that episode where my friend Pat Stango, who is of Italian descent, came in and ironically defended Gotti. Like he came into when we used to the studio at Alex's, and he's like, "What are you talking about? It's a classic. What do you?" And I'm like, and it was getting my blood was boiling. I'm like, nobody should even say that as a joke. Like that's how bad that movie is. And it's unwatchable. But then when I realized, what you find out later is that John Gotti's son produced the movie. Ooh. So think about what type of atmosphere there was for E from Entourage on the set of Gotti, not trying to piss off John Gotti's like grandson or son or whatever it is, being like, sure, we could not put in that time where you killed the kid. Yeah, sure.
Well, I'm gonna give you the DVD of the Gotti Armand Desante one. It's good. I'm telling you, you'll like it. It's a very good movie.
Yeah, but how accurate is it? You know what I mean?
Who cares? It's a good mafia flick, you know.
Well, my favorite part, and I must have brought this up on the episode we did about it, but my favorite part of the whole movie is when at one point the script is so bad. Like the script is so bad, it literally opens up with Travolta as Gotti, like next to like the Brooklyn Bridge, going, "This is New York. This is my town." Like it's like a one man show, like a bad one man show, and then later on, one of the associates, I forget who it is, the character in the movie, but he goes, we got the whole town on lockdown. We got all 5 boroughs: Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens, Staten Island, Brooklyn. Like he lists
the boroughs. That's so
one of my favorite things ever. I
don't know why that just reminded me of, you ever seen The Family Guy where the guy puts on a one-man show and he does all the same voices for all the same people?
Oh, it's my favorite thing ever. He goes, yeah,
I remember.
Don't we say that to each other? Or maybe that's not you. Oh, yeah, but he goes, yeah.
Back in the day, I remember I would get with my friend Tony and we'd play b-ball. B-ball. That's what we called it.
he goes, that's what we called it back then, b-ball. And then he goes, everybody had the same voice. And then he goes out to meet his family and they all have his voice.
It's a great callback.
He goes, and then he's making fun of it. Brian's making fun of it with Stewie, and then he goes over to the guy who did the show, and he goes, "Mark, what a journey!" He just walks over.
Wow,
what a journey, dude! I'll tell you right now, that one-man show from Family Guy, that excerpt is better than the entire Gotti the movie.
B-ball. That's what we called it.
B-ball. In Gotti, he's like, stickball. That's what we called it back then. Pasta sauce. That's what we ate back then.
I just love how he named everything after you say something. He's like, I'm a fan of the New York teams. The New York Knicks, the New York Rangers, the New York Giants, the New York Yankees.
Gotti they just list everything. It's a conversation one of these mob guys takes forever.
OCD about it. You can't make it a thing, or he gets really, really insecure.
And it also makes no sense because the whole movie makes no sense. But Mafia guys, they're not known for their details. Like they're like, ever listen to one of those tapes that the FBI records with the Mafia guys, and they're like, you talk to that guy about the thing.
Very coded.
Yeah, they're not sitting there going, they're not like, hey, you talk to that guy about the thing, and they're like, who? Joseph, Michael, Anthony, Tony V, Tony C. Like, they're not listing shit. They're not just like details are not what you want in the Mafia. So nobody, even with burros, you're not going to want it.
Yeah. He's ordering a sandwich. He goes, nothing I love more than an Italian hoagie. Bread, lettuce, tomato, salami, ham, pepperoni, olive oil. Oh, God. He's on a roll again.
Yeah. Be like, Gotti, he loves pasta, rigatoni, panini, spaghetti, fusilli Jerry. Andy's dying.
I'm having a conniption.
It's absolutely true. I think, and I know we're kidding around. Like, obviously,
I love women, boobs, legs, butts. Women,
right boob, left boob, vagina,
eyeballs.
clitoris, labia. Just like it's down to the body parts. Oh my God.
Like, actually, if he was a student in school, he really would have done well because
He really would have done well.
got a knack for listing things.
There would have been a diagram of New York City. Label all the boroughs of New York City with like the
It's
lines.
great at geography.
The lines coming out of it. Yeah. So basically, I'll watch any Mafia movie. I'll watch any Mafia documentary. I'll watch anything Mafia related. And
Absolutely.
And that's why it's like, man, the genre, they've done so much about it. At this point, you can spot an inauthentic Mafia thing a mile away.
Yeah.
That's why Gotti is so bad and Goodfellas is so good and holds up so well. Like, Goodfellas, like, it holds up so well, that movie. It's crazy.
Of course. Is it your number one?
Mafia movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over
Name? We've done this, I think, maybe, but
I'm just
over The Godfather. The Godfathers are
everybody's pretty subjective on this answer because it's really hard to pick because those are three such perfect films.
The two Godfathers and Goodfellas?
Yeah.
Yeah, but The Godfather, like I said, the era that I like is this 60s, 70s era of the Mafia. So
yeah,
Godfather is like I think what they call it, like the Gone with the Wind of Mafia. It's like one of those things where it's
way
like,
to put it.
They're trying to make it very very elaborate and very ornate. It's very ornate and it's also like
it's beautiful.
The pacing is very slow and it's very beautiful and it's a really beautiful and it's really romanticized. Once you get into Goodfellas, that's why what's his name didn't win, because it was a little bit punk rock the way that Goodfellas was made.
Yeah,
because
it's nice. It's paced. Yeah, it's paced. It's fast.
Scorsese figured out what he does, and on Goodfellas, and whoever picks, what is the Foreign Press or whatever it is, or the Academy
Hollywood
or whatever,
Press.
Hollywood Foreign Press, like they turned around and watched that and were like, they probably think about it. Back in '89, they were like, "This is not a film. This is not a film." All these jump cuts and this and that. Like, it was too jarring for them. Probably that's why they were assholes and didn't give it to it. But it changed the way that films were made, and it also was dealing with a really hot, crazy topic. I don't know, 20, not even 20. Think about how many years that was until he got into witness relocation. So he went like 80, right? Yeah. Like. So he was in the program when that movie was made. You're talking like 9 years after all that action happened. Like some of these things happened were so fresh. So that's why it was such so vibrant and so effective and so entertaining and so like, oh my God, because you've never seen anything like it before. Now we have all that. So we're going, man, you better be really good if you're going to be a Mafia movie, because everybody kind of like, just by especially guys like us, we just know enough now. Or like Racine, like Mike Racine, somebody who like just knows the whole history of the frickin' Italian Mafia. So at this point, it's like, you really have to stand out as a Mafia movie,
Yeah, I can't even, has there been any good recent ones?
That's the thing. I don't even know. Like, I think like things have. Okay, so what was the Whitey Bulger one? Was awful. The one with Johnny Depp. Yeah. Really, really bad. And the book wasn't bad, so that's why it was like really disappointing.
Was there any good recent ones? I go, oh right, The Irishman.
Yeah, but even
Which
the
I guess is
Irishman,
not necessarily mafia per se. It's
not
gangster.
mafia,
but-
really. It's gangster. It's in that world, but it's more about. It's like the theme of the Irishman, which I probably said
is
when we did on
organized
the-
crime. I guess
It's organized crime,
more
but
than
the theme is like life is bullshit. Like the whole thing's bullshit. It's like that's when you know they're doing it right, is when all this stuff is so important. They're killing guys over this reason, that reason, whatever it is. And then
Yeah.
Sopranos, everything is like, oh my God, it's all about this thing and evading the cops and all this. And then they have that scene with Junior, which I've watched a million times on YouTube,
right.
when Junior is like full on dementia at this point, pretty much. And he's at like the state hospital. He's totally downtrodden and just desolate. And Tony showed up about a money situation, about something being buried because the sister was looking for the money. And then he has no idea who Tony is. And then he has to tell him, he goes, you and my father ran North Jersey for X amount of years, whatever he says. And then he looks at him, he goes, oh, really? That's nice. That's what he said. It's this like glazed over face. Like that to me is also the point of The Irishman. When it gets to the end of The Irishman, it's brutal. That movie's
hard to
brutal.
watch.
It's the best part of the movie is that movie, as far as the film itself goes, is that last third of the movie, but it's sad as hell. Like it's so sad.
They're all sad endings, really. None of them have happy endings.
Right. Exactly.
Goodfellas is not a happy ending. It's either everybody's dead or he's got to live his life like a schnook. Godfather Part 2, Michael dies. I mean, not Michael dies. What do you call it? Fredo dies. He kills his whole family essentially.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, there's no. You can't name one mafia movie at the end. That would actually be so bad. A mafia movie.
Everything worked out. Yeah, in a weird way, Henry Hill did kind of skate on the life that a normal mafia guy like him that had. He did, in a way, like he's alive and he was able to live. Well, he's not alive now, but he lived well into his like 70s. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he did time, but like he never got killed. He was never, I mean, not for lack of trying either, but like he became a rat. And like usually those guys who go into the witness protection program either stay there for the rest of his life, but he couldn't stay away from the life. So he came back nobody rubbed him out for like fucking ratting or anything. So he did kind of get away. It was, but I guess that's not a happy ending.
I think his saving grace was that he just outlasted everybody.
Yeah,
everybody else was either because they rounded up all those guys. So, that's, the same reason they say that a lot of those guys are getting out now from jail and they're like kind of trying to get back into it, but it's kind of a fractured organization.
Yeah.
Is the same way that if everybody's in jail for all the shit that was done back in the day and then Henry Hill gets out, like there's nobody really left to go get him. Right. That's why I know I've mentioned this in the show before, so I apologize, but when he used to do Howard Stern, he would call into Howard Stern. They had that whole thing back in the day,
right.
And people would call up Howard Stern and say, "You're dead. We're going to kill you. You're a rat." And he would laugh in their and he would laugh at them. He would just completely laugh because he knew nobody's around anymore, and you're not a serious person. Like if you were really part of this, you wouldn't be calling the Howard Stern show.
Stern. This high pitched Eric is going. High pitched Eric going. I'm going to kill you, motherfucker. You're dead while where you sleep.
You're going to sleep with the fishes.
It's Beetlejuice. Yeah. I can't do a good Beetlejuice.
I like high pitch Eric as like just mafia high pitch Eric.
Message.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Yeah. One in the head.
Leave the gun. Take the cannolis.
There it is.
But yeah, absolutely. So that's what it boils down to. So yeah, there's no happy endings of these movies, and just the entire film of Gotti was just not a happy experience, even as a filmmaking experience. It's just so bad. Also, if you're
the
from
only
Entourage,
happy ending was that the people working on the movie were happy when it was over. That's the only happy ending.
Exactly.
Finally.
If you're from Entourage, how are you? What do you like? Why? Because you had a couple bucks. You were on 10 years. You were on Entourage.
Be happy you got
years.
to make out with Emmanuel Chikri.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
Be happy for the run you had.
Also, it's like it would have. You could have gotten a job TV directing somewhere.
Yeah.
So what is the story that you're like, I have to direct this Gotti movie that is the worst thing.
Yeah.
Well, like I'm talking like I will put that up against like when people go like the winner for worst movie of all time.
Right.
I will that's in your top 5 of those. Like it's that bad.
I gotta watch it just for.
You just check it out just for because it's on Amazon. It's on Amazon Prime, so you could check it out. it's worth like for it's so bad. The parts of it are so bad that it's worth to get the laugh out of.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, Andy, it's no Cool Hand Luke. How about
Sure
that,
isn't.
buddy?
Absolutely
it sure is
not.
not.
I'm
Oh, the
glad.
other thing one thing I wanted to mention about Cool Hand Luke, and I should have done. We were talking about it a little bit. I'll tell you, and I don't know if you're gonna get mad at me for saying this. I see where Ryan Gosling gets his inspiration from.
Interesting.
I think that I'm not saying
like
yeah. Oh, I think
I don't.
Steve McQueen comes off like Ryan Gosling, I should say, comes off like he's trying to act like Steve McQueen. The quiet, like
Paul Newman.
What?
Steve McQueen.
I mean Paul Newman. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Paul Newman.
I was like, what? And I thought there's like a new director called Steve McQueen, right? I thought it confused me.
No, I'm sorry. I'm
losing.
talking about Paul Newman. That's what I'm talking about. That's where Ryan Gosling gets his inspiration from, which I never realized.
It's so funny how people confuse Paul Newman for so many things. One time in college, mind you, we were very stoned, but my roommate Mike, who is a medical doctor now, we were so high, and he goes, we're like we shared a dorm sophomore year, so it's basically a room. You sleep almost in bunk beds. We'd smoked a bowl, and we're actually like falling asleep with we got the lights on and everything, and he just goes, how you like you talk to your buddy in bed. He goes, hey man, what was that movie with Wayne Newman playing pool? It was like PoolShark. And I go, you mean Paul Newman in The Color of Money? He goes, yeah, that's it. I go, Wayne Newman in PoolShark. Like he just took a few of the words and kind of tried to paint by numbers it together.
Is he my mom? Yeah, that's what my mom does. Like I knew it was. I can at least I got the name right.
You got Newman and Pool, and you can stitch it together that way.
Yeah, they're just pulling. You know what that is? That's also usually like, is he not a movie fan?
Nah, not a big movie guy.
That's that. I think that's that, because when you're a movie fan, you get like the details right. So most of the time,
sure.
Even if you're saying the wrong name, like I just did.
Although
But
I kind of would like to see Wayne Newman in PoolShark. Just a swarthy Las Vegas guy hangs around the pool as an older person. The PoolShark, baby.
Yeah, that'd be great. Singing Donkey Shane around the pool.
Absolutely, I can write that in my sleep.
But yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Sorry, I just fucked up the name.
It's okay.
Paul Newman.
I'll look for Gosling now, because I just don't know enough Gosling that well off the top of my head to be able to point to it. But
based off Cool Hand Luke, I'm
open.
like, this is like the basis of this guy's whole persona. Like it kind of comes off this same way. Like other Paul Newman roles, I don't see it as much, but for some reason I see it in Cool Hand Luke. Like maybe because there's not much. It's so quiet. Maybe the quiet thing, like that kind of thing. It's like there's not much said. Cool Hand Luke does not say that much.
I'll tell you this much for free. My record of staunch heterosexuality, Paul Newman was a good-looking man in that movie. He's got those blue eyes, and he flashes that smile. You go, yeah, I get it, ladies.
If Paul Newman was to like play gay chicken with you, do you think you would just let him go all the way?
I would just let him do whatever he wanted. I would speed it up. I would just smush our mouths together. He's
like, you lost, and he's like, no, I didn't. You're like, no, I didn't.
Did I ever tell you that story of gay chicken and from me in high school when my gym teacher caught us, me and Sean Corcoran?
No.
Sean Corcoran was the guy who was the best at gay chicken. Like he wouldn't back away, and you'd always be the one to go, all right, get the hell out of here. This is weird. So we were doing it one day, like by our lockers, and we had our freshman year gym teacher, Mr. Shepard, who's like the baseball coach. He's a man's man. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, sure.
Baseball coach, football coach, gym teacher, that kind of guy.
A man's man in short shorts for gym.
Sure, yeah, the classic, like whatever those like felt classic 70s football coaches.
Sure.
Corcoran and I had a locker next to each other, and he just like shut his locker as a joke and did the Chris Farley, shuts his eyes, opens his mouth, starts leaning in. And we're doing gay chick, and Mr. Shepard comes by and goes, hey, what the hell's going on? You're going to kiss him. And we're like, no, we're doing a game. He goes, what the hell kind of game is that? You can't explain gay chicken to a fucking
also
gym
this
teacher
is in the locker room. Also,
this is like in the hallway in our like lockers at an all boys high school.
Yeah, of course that dude freaked out because I guarantee you that happened at your high school and it was not a game. I guarantee you that there was multiple times that might have happened and he was like, not again. I'm gonna call these kids' parents now and figure some shit out.
I swear to God, we're playing a game. I bet you were.
Yeah. Also, we're playing a game sounds like the first excuse somebody would say when they're about to make out. Like, yeah. No, it's a game. Nothing. It's a joke. Just like what's his name in Sopranos when he's in the leather outfit and he's dancing. He goes, what? It's a joke. It's a joke.
It's the best excuse I've ever heard. Oh, what? It's a joke. It's so funny, Vito. Oh man, I could talk Mafia for hours.
We should just do a whole month's worth of Mafia episodes.
Start a new Mafia.
Let's do. Oh my God, that'd be the worst. How would we make money? Like we're not. Are you holding up? Comedian Mafia.
I don't know how we'd make money. Yeah, because I don't want to. I'm not like strong arming anybody.
Yeah, you don't want to shake anybody down. You just want to tickle their funny bone. Yeah.
They would get. I'm such a softie too. They'd be like, I can't pay this week, and I'd be like, all right, whatever you want.
Yeah. The same
Don't break my kneecaps. I go, kneecap? Wait, give me a Snickers bar. I'll get the hell out of your hair.
Also, like Andy is too punny to be a Mafia guy. Like he would just go, and he'd be like, the Don doesn't do puns. You can't do puns.
Right.
You would just do puns all the time.
I do love Mafia nicknames though. Those are fun. Andy Flowers.
Mafia nicknames? Oh yeah, that I like yours a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. We didn't even say what mine would be.
Here's the thing. It's usually something derogatory toward the person's physical appearance.
Yeah, that's true. What would mine be? Like, all right. So what would? I
mean, I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Say whatever you want. I don't care.
It would be, like if there was another, you'd be something bald, maybe.
Oh yeah, something bald.
Or you got arthritis in your knees. You'd be like, Shawnee, yeah, it was Shawnee kneecaps over there. Shawnee no knees.
Shawnee no knees. No knees. I like Shawnee no
yeah.
knees.
It's usually got to be alliterative.
Shawnee no knees sounds fantastic.
You might be the Irishman though, because of Donnelly.
Yeah, I wouldn't be allowed to join.
Shawnee Irish,
and you can't join either. You have to be full Italian.
Yeah.
Well, back in the day, I'm sure they
looser rules. I think
the funniest part about that
I could ever get made. Yeah,
they were like, I feel like the Mafia had that rule for like 10 minutes, and they were like, "Oh, this Irish guy will kill people. Okay, let him in. Yeah, that's fine." Like after a while, they were just like, "All right, he can't join, but he can hang out with us." Like it's like,
right.
You're like, you're not like it's like a little kid thing. Like you can't come in the treehouse, but you can hang out on the stump by the stump of the tree.
No homers. We're allowed to have one.
Andrew, this was quite the fun episode. I'm so excited. Andy Flowers, can you please tell them where you will be doing your particular brand of comedy, or even if it's digitally or in live or over the airwaves, or what are you going to do?
Sure. Well, you can hear me digitally each week on SiriusXM satellite radio on channel 99. That is Raw Dog. Thursdays at 4 p.m. I have a show called The Raw Report, where we have celebrities and comedians and anybody in the entertainment industry, anybody we want to talk to. We have an interview show. This week, we had comedian Michael Somerville, one of our pals. And Shawnee also has his show, 24 hours prior to that. It's called Celebrate. It's on the same channel at 4 p.m. That's Wednesdays, and then 4 p.m. on Thursdays. So go check us out there. And you can find my dates on andyfiore.com. We have a bunch coming up. Shawnee and I have some shows together coming up. I have Omaha Funny Bone. I have Pittsburgh Improv. I have Soul Joel's with Shawnee coming up. So just follow the kid at Andy Fiore on all that stuff, and you'll see where I'm at.
Cool. And I'm at Shawnee Time on Instagram and Twitter. And I have the House of Comedy in Arizona coming up in May, which I'll mention again. And the shows with Andy. And I have one other one that I can't remember right now, but I will tell you next week because it's far enough away where I can do that.
Yeah, I think May 1st, you and I. That one's coming up quick.
Yeah, May
2
1st.
weeks.
Yeah.
In Oxford, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it should be a fun one. And then thank you so much to Buster Palm himself, Mike V. Suarez. We had to get out of here, but thank you so much to the laugh button. Thank you guys for listening.
He's already got a great Mafia.
Hit up. Oh, absolutely. Buster Palm.
Mikey Mush? No, Mush.
Mikey Mush. Oh,
Mikey
yeah.
Mush.
That's from Bronx Tale.
He's a button man.
Which is a great segue. You can listen to my episode of Celebrate with Chaz Palminteri right now on the old Sirius app. Also, at the DYM podcast on Instagram and Twitter. And thank you so much.
Send us your Mafia names.
Thank you so much, you guys listening. Subscribe, tell your friends, tweet at us. We'll tweet right back. We'll say hello. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.